Let me put this thing back. No, I didn't Malta.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Be careful what you pray for this morning. Malta for me.
So I up in the lineup. I was like,
but also just to say how much you missed me. I'll also accept that. And you can send in the message number, which is 0809 44409 story.
You know, I've always wondered about why who are interested in political offices, why they have to host because they have political ambitions to do another term as long as they want to, but they don't have to resign. So I have ambition. I think it's funny. I don't know the law in some form of
to be pursue their own ambitions or to help out their things to ensure that the common man has their goals and ambitions sort of met, because this sort of self
in Nigeria. Yes, for you to have those positions or have to step away from government to pursue this goal.
Why we are helpless? Say the police, the Navy, FRSC, LASTMA, everyone that shouldn't be helpless seems to be helpless right now, Tunde. Now, in a story that is rather lengthy and it does address a number of issues, it talks about the fact that a number of these agencies have tried to intervene at different points to help out the gridlock in Apapa, which some people are saying now is worse now than it has ever been. There are no for the trucks that exist. But also something I would like you to touch on as you go through the story is the state of the trucks. So we look at the alarming number of casualties we have on the roads. It almost seems as though the government has a fear of enforcing laws against the people that own these trucks, as well as, of course, the attendant crime that comes with that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, absolutely. They've been an absolute menace, not just for traffic. I mean, it's a hazard generally. Whether it's the amount of time it makes you sitting in traffic, and we all know, I mean, that science now shows that being sitting down and being sedentary is dangerous to your health, knocks years off your life. If you look at the amount of time we spend in traffic in this country, it's an indication as to one of the reasons, especially in our urban areas like Lagos, why life expectancy is much lower than the average. Then there is the attendant issues of them being parked in the middle of the night. It's almost happened to me. I was driving down the bridge and suddenly the last thing you expect is to meet the flatbed.
Yes.
Right.
And they're the ones that typically have no lights, no reflectors, nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, if I was doing anything else but looking at the road in that instant, it would be a different story. So it's a huge miss, and the truth is, it's a reflect. We are where we are because we failed to plan. When you fail to plan, this is what you get. Right. I see all the suggestions that this lengthy story has, and I mean, after taking all that time in traffic, it now, I mean, it's befitting of a lengthy story in and of itself. But all of them, I mean, when I get to them, it's almost like perfecting in imperfection. You're trying to improve on an inefficiency. Right now, holding bays will be helpful, which is a suggestion, and the government in Lagos State is building one. That's supposed to be 3,000 truck holding bay that's meant to come online. It's not yet ready, and their plans for 6,000 more. I mean, why are we looking for improving something that's inefficient? If we had proper infrastructure, if we had more road networks, right? If we use more of our ports, I mean, why is the Apapa port the only one that we use? We have a few others, right, across the country. Why don't we have additional road networks going in and out of the ports? Why don't we use rail? Right, there's so many where we are because we failed to plan, and suddenly we're here and we're trying to solve a problem. Like, okay, so the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is that we should look at these as very short-term fixes. While we're putting the long-term proper, there's no substitute for proper planning and proper infrastructure. So giving calling cards, the Navy did a bit of helped greatly recently by giving them calling cards and saying, look, if you have no business by the ports, they verify the papers. If you have no business by the ports, don't just come and park here. Right? But then, because of the fear of the military and of the Navy, they go for a bit, but then they're back because really and truly they have nowhere else to be. Where will they park these trucks? And it goes on and on. That everyone chimes in. We talk about the casualties. We've highlighted that it's a huge drain on LASTMA. I wonder what we'd do in Lagos without those guys.
actually. Big shout out to LASTMA. Just, I know, you never really hear that. It's not really as Ikemesit has the best facial expressions this morning. But make sure you are up on our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. It's rather fascinating there. Let's keep it moving though and talk about concerns mounting as oil and gas free zone policies hamper presidential executive order. It's from Thisday newspaper, and Tunde, I'm going to stay with you for your thoughts on this one. There are indications that have emerged, according to some IOCs, especially saying that listen, the way that some of these free zones are being operated, especially by the private sector, is causing problems for foreign investment. They're saying that there are arbitrary charges that are being put forward, cumbersome procedural imposition. All of these have created an unappealing atmosphere to invest. Now, today, I know there's also the rhetoric that exists where people say a lot of the time government has no business in business. However, if government doesn't involve themselves in this, will it not be left to the sharks? Because that's what we seem to be seeing here in this story. But what are your thoughts?
Absolutely, Amanda, and my thoughts are along the same lines. You know, so the government needs to be involved, or at least as an arbitrator, in this instance. And so essentially what's happened is that you know, the vice president, acting president at the time, as we like to highlight, you know, signed executive orders, but without taking into consideration, I presume, the underlying issues or intricacies. So it's more like they've given they've concessioned, or they're trying to concession something where, you know, ownership, there is an overlay of ownership.
Yes.
And the guys who have ownerships within the zone are saying, look, I mean, if you're going to exploit this, you have to pay us, right? And in a sense, it only makes sense because they paid to get these, you know, concessions, as one of the IOC says. And this is complaints from privately owned free zones are known for blindsiding authorities to raise their own revenue rather than raising public funds. And I'm like, oh, that's what private business is. Right.
I mean, we say that, but should private business, especially looking at the state for Nigeria, it not also be considerate of the wider implication, really, of what it does mean? Because if you stifle it at this point, how do we grow?
Fine, it's a business. The guys paid something. They're not a charity.
Yeah,
If the government should also join forces. What government should do, since they paid the government for these things originally anyway, it wasn't dashed to them, right? What the government should do is either buy them out or say, this is how we'll compensate you, right?
Okay.
Not just say, you know, take one for the road or whatever it is.
Got you. All right. Thank you very much for that. We've got a few messages that are coming through.
Yes, Emma from Akoka says it's cliche, but regardless, welcome to it.
Thanks.
So it's not surprising that such actions come during the election season. Most politicians have some sort of career path that they want to take, so they give it preference over representing the common man. Interesting. And Nyekanya from Bariga says, good morning everyone in the house. I hope the movement of these trucks out of Apapa is not temporary. Let us use the opportunity to revamp our light rail system so that these trucks shall not
They didn't say they're going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Also, let us have other state ports like Port Harcourt, Calabar, Akwa Ibom, and Warri to relieve Lagos from this mess. Thanks, Ayekan, very much. Thanks for that. That's still the call for decentralization. Gerald says Nigerian customs are the ones ruining the FZE process. They frustrate the process.
Interesting.
Nelson says, morning guys. On the traffic gridlock in Eko Bridge and Apapa, the government is helpless simply because 60 to 70% of those trucks are owned by one powerful Nigerian.
Yeah.
And use it there.
We like that suspense. We wonder who you could be talking about. Speaking of suspense, let's talk about the codeine situation, shall we? We are not on a codeine diet. That's not the headline, though. The Guardian newspaper says federal government recalls 2.4 bottles of codeine cough syrup. Now, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, disclosed this while receiving the final report of the committee set up by his ministry to address codeine abuse. Now, we have spoken previously about bans and whether or not they work, but we see that the federal government especially seems to be pressing on in this direction of just eradicating it, and maybe we'll just forget that there's an underlying issue. What are your thoughts, Ayo?
Okay, so the fight is on and it's as intense as possible. But what's going to be the next thing? Because we know for a fact that substance abuse is for real, and if they don't find the codeine, they'll probably go for something else. Now, I think we need to also address, it's good that they're doing this, but we need to also address the causes. And the two major causes of substance abuse usually is depression and peer pressure. Yeah, the peer pressure parts can be managed probably from the homes and the likes, but when it comes to depression, what is the FG doing other than making sure that they eradicate this substance, codeine in itself? What are they doing when it comes to checking depression and recovery of the people that are already addicted to this substance? That's the aspect I think that we need to look at. Yes, 2.4 million bottles of codeine is gone, but like we know, those that are addicted to it will probably find something else. So I think the plan should be what we should do afterwards.
Well, it's a good thing they're actually just going ahead to attack the supply chain, because that's where really you start curbing it in the first place.
Okay.
And addressing underlying factors.
Focusing on the symptoms.
And that's a problem though. But all right. I've got a few more messages coming through. This one is in from Boss. Hello, Boss. He says, dude, ministers and commissioners are appointed, not elected. When they start pursuing politics, they, one, get seriously distracted from their current primary duties in the government, and two, they tend to expend official government resources, including time and energy, on their politics, while claiming to manage both their duties and their political activity at the same time, including using their positions to unfairly intimidate political opponents. That is why it is quite expedient for them to resign. All right, thank you very much.
Moving on now to the next story from Punch newspaper. Alleged forgery. Representatives panel wants Buhari's aide prosecuted. So the aide, by the name of Chief Okoye-Obona-Obla, they've accused him, said that he allegedly forged his law degree certificate. So the ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives are recommending his arrest and prosecution in the light of this discovery. And they're also making recommendations that the public property, this recovery of the Public Property Special Provisions Act be repealed by the federal government. Ikemesit, your thoughts?
Really interesting stuff. So it's worth noting a couple of things. First, for those of us who may not necessarily be familiar with the name, Okoye-Obona-Obla he's reputed to be one of the more vocal supporters of the current administration. Like, he does the media circuits all the time. If you watch, the morning shows on television, or read the newspapers, is usually frequently quoted. And there are a few, if you Google him, there are a few viral clips that you'll find about him going on rather choice rants, aimed at the current administration's detractors. So essentially, this panel, so with all the drama that went down in the National Assembly, I think it was last week or the week after, I can't even, my drama timeline is a bit skewed right now, but the one where, the Senate President apparently did a Jason Bourne.
Oh, yeah, that was last week.
Okay, that was last week.
Yeah.
Already?
Yes.
Wow.
So I was looking at that
like time freezes in Nigeria.
It moves quickly here, man.
Yes. Okay. So
this morning's news is still by evening.
Yeah. So this actually happened, right? Away from all the drama. This actually happened, and this might actually be more consequential. So a couple of things. The panel determined, in their determination, they determined that the law degree which Mr. Obona-Obla acquired from the University of Jos was acquired fraudulently. No real explanations as to how they came about that determination. Okay. They're also requiring that the Nigerian Law School withdraw its law school certificates, because that certification was given based on the degree that they got from the University of Jos. They're also recommending that the Inspector General of Police arrest Obona-Obla and charge him for forgery and misrepresentation, and also the repeal of the aforementioned law that you said. It's worth noting that these four things, if we take cognizance of the body language of this administration, are very unlikely to happen. But it's curious that we have a situation where a prominent government official is accused of some form of forgery or misrepresentation. The legislature has called for said government official to be appropriately sanctioned and dealt with. There has been a tacit indifference, right, on the part of the executive towards addressing those issues, and there's been silence on the part of the federal government and the affected individual. Where have I heard or observed these four factors occur? It sounds eerily familiar.
Another angle there. Okay.
Here's a question, because you did point out something very interesting, right? I mean, the cases, at least in one case, most notably our Minister of Finance, where there
that's it.
We have seen documentation that does suggest very clearly that there has been some foul play in this situation, as you mentioned. How did they come about this determination, right? It is a panel that has just said, well, it looks as though, and then suddenly you call for sanctions. I mean, it would be questionable to kind of go along with those lines if we don't understand why that's happening, isn't it?
Indeed, I completely agree with you. So this is essentially just the opinion of the panel, right? It is a recommendation. There's very little word, and I feel like this story has some moving parts, and over the coming days and weeks, we are going to see and hear the drama just prickle out
and also
like an Ebony Life drama series.
Highlighting his position really. It's very, because I feel it's a sensitive position that he holds. And
it is.
Will not exactly rule out the fact that some people might just feel threatened. The Special Presidential Investigation Panel for Recovery of Public Property. That's the office he chairs.
Yeah. Am I getting a whiff that you are suggesting
I just
that
asked the question.
There's some members of the political elite feel there's a conspiracy that today you're feeling the itches I'm feeling.
If you hold an office of any importance, better make sure you have no dirty under
the house is in
We've got very quickly a quick comment that's coming from Emma Uduma up on our YouTube channel, who says on the trucks issue, it's just incredibly unthinkable that we hope to move forward with just one tiny port. I mean, the ban on car imports via Benin is also a factor. Okay.
Yep. Next story from Guardian newspaper. New rule restricts MDs from succeeding board chairmen. So we move to the story today. We're going to take on this one. Is that according to the story, it may soon become illegal for managing directors and chief executive officers of publicly quoted companies to succeed the chairman of the board of directors, except after a period no less than 3 years of exiting the first position. What do you think?
A cooling period.
Just realize, realize.
Okay, so this is about corporate governance, and you can't have any shortage of proper corporate governance. Something that our institutions, don't adhere to as well as they should. So I mean, it's important that the Financial Reporting Council is alive to its responsibilities and trying to make the required changes to attitudes. If this had been enforced a couple of years ago, a lot of the shake-up that happened in the financial industry wouldn't have seen people moving from the MD's office to the chairman's office. Sometimes directly, just moving across. And what that does is that it creates an opportunity for you. It's just like in succession when you're trying to keep your in the political sphere as well. When you're managing succession, it makes it it makes it cloudier and harder for people on the outside to have a clear picture of precisely what's happening. And if you've done the wrong things, it's easier for you to then therefore manage them. And if you're a publicly listed company, that affects transparency, affects your attractiveness to investors. And all of the rest of it. And integrity. Yeah. So all in all, it's a good. The only one that I sort of query is they say it's the concurrent appointments where they say you can't. They're suggesting that you can't be the chairman of more than one entity. And I'm like, hello, that really doesn't make sense. Because, if you're I understand the rest. Executive director, perhaps. I mean, if you're a director, yes. If you're an executive director, then you probably shouldn't have. Because then conflicts of interest shouldn't be concurrent and a bunch of other things. So generally, except for that one, I think it's all-round good idea. It's not saying that you can't become chairman, but go and relax more. Let someone on the other side, or potentially in an opposing view or camp, go and dig up anything that you've done.
Take a trip, go to Malta.
Malta is nice. It is nice.
It is nice. I know. 2 pictures. The Guardian newspaper has this next story. Nigeria gets fresh prospects in ECOWAS and international trade. So we recall that the Senate border facility that gives access for Nigeria and Republic of Benin for the transit of goods, services, and all that through these borders is being constructed. It's been constructed for over 2 years, and apparently now ECOWAS and the European Union are all embarking on a technical simulation of the new post, hoping to open it up for trade in September. I mean, they've highlighted some factors here. They said similar to the fears of Nigeria's exclusion with this one actually very similar to the exclusion from the Africa Free Trade Agreement, that if the House, as the government really in its stead, does not check that all the agreements they sign does not favor Nigeria, in the sense that the investment and entrepreneurship is not boosted and businesses do not thrive to encourage more exports, they still might suffer more losses than these other countries that they are liaising with. What are your thoughts?
Well, so normally you expect that when a country like Nigeria is going into or is sharing a border with this let me say smaller in population countries, you expect that they would benefit a little bit more because of the population that we have here. and then you're going to be, we should be like the center of the hub. But from what they're saying now, this hasn't been in a while, and now EU is coming into this agreement, which is a good thing, because as much as we might not, we might have this feeling like the EU might have their own sinister.
Not necessarily sinister. I mean, everybody just wants to bring in.
They're just here for themselves.
I'm just
They're
saying.
here
Why
for
we always so
themselves.
paranoid?
Yeah, but that's what normally happens. But it's a good thing because they have the experience and they can also help us out. Now they're saying that there's a projected 300 billion in this region, which this looks good because export for Nigeria is projected at 137.3 billion, while import is 80.4, which looks good.
Yeah.
Now that's on paper. We also have to check. We have to check the smuggling that happens a lot around there, because most of this revenue might not be coming into the pocket of the government eventually. So those are the things that we need to check. And now they are also introducing this ECOMAC and standardization certification. There are a lot of things that are actually coming up here, which looks good on paper, but implementation is what we need to think about. How well is it going to be implemented?
But here's what to note, though. I mean, since it was constructed for over 2 years, traders have been using the other Atlas Park. That's just
the one which has
the current one that.
And Atlas Park doesn't normally favor Nigeria.
But that has been boosting smuggling, pretty much encouraging the smuggle of goods and services, the lack of checks, and all that. But hopefully, when this one is opened officially in September, they are hoping that officials from all the participating countries put efforts together to make sure the security is tightened.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who is it going to favor eventually? The Atlas Park actually favors the Benin people, the Republic of Benin, more than Nigeria.
Because they have more exports.
Yeah, and other than that, I think normally as an individual or as a businessman, you need to look for which is the cheaper option or the easier option. So we need to be able to curtail that, because it doesn't. This necessarily doesn't mean that the smuggling and the likes will still not occur. It doesn't mean. We just have to make sure that we are very careful about how we make sure this is well implemented eventually, because smuggling will probably still go on, but we have to be able to check it.
All right,
Thank
we've
you
got
very
a few messages coming through. Nathan Njoku from QQ Town sent in messages, both on WhatsApp and on Twitter, because it's very serious. He's talking about the holdup caused by the trucks. He says that last December he was robbed at a gunpoint, and the police and Navy are benefiting from this because they tax each truck at least 3,000 naira. Then they go and sit in a particular spot, which then makes it easier for robbers to rob during gridlock because they know exactly where the police and the Navy are. He goes so far as to say that, in fact, the guys who robbed him had the audacity to even shoot in the air because they knew exactly where the Navy were and they could get away judging. This one is in from Chris, who says reasons giving for reliving political appointees of their posts ahead of elections are just convenient and self-serving. Why does the governor or president not resign to contest the election? Maybe they should.
When does that happen?
Maybe they should. Ikemesit Effiong meanwhile says we're just being played big time in this nation. We're in limbo with the finance minister's NYC certificate issues. Now we have a Bon Law Blast law degree being questioned again. Is it transfer and certificate proving season as it seems?
Yeah.
It seems.
2019 is locking in the air. Punch newspaper has this next story that we're going to take a look at. Ikemesit, I'll come to you with this one. Federal government overpays 196 billion naira as personnel costs to 450 MDA. So a continuing revelation from the 2016 budget audit. Yeah. So the Attorney General's office has revealed that they said this, despite the introduction of the integrated personnel and payroll information system, one would hope that these things will be put to rest. The excess funds that have been sending to these ministries and agencies. It says the intention originally was to manage or effectively manage the payments of the federal government worker salaries, but they've recorded excesses to the tune from the Attorney General's Funds Department office. They've recorded an excess of 36 billion, and then from the IPPIS, the Integrated Payments and Payroll Information System, recorded another excess of 195. Yeah. Ikemesit, I mean, doesn't this show how lax the ministries, departments, and agencies have been for years, and how these monies have been flying under the radar?
Lax. I think lax is putting it charitably. It's a broken, busted system. I mean, you have a situation where, if you recall, in the lead up to the approval for this year's spending plans, the National Assembly kept complaining that a lot of the MDAs did not appear before them in order to justify their budgets. In this same report, the Auditor General himself lamented that despite multiple inquiries made by his office asking for clarifications from the agencies. Many of them never responded, and so it's been a culture where these MDAs have essentially, so it's easier for you to inflate on the personal and recurrent side than to inflate on the capital side, right? Because it's easier for you to track capital spending. You say we want to get 100 laptops at this price. If you get 60 laptops, what happens to the excess? If you get 100 laptops, where are the receipts, right? But for personnel and recurrent management purposes, you can simply create. I mean, there was a time in the early part, in the late part 2015, 2016, the Minister of Finance kept out the fact that, oh, we've got this number of ghost workers, we've cleaned this out of our systems, and all of those things. And
maybe they got tired of the ghost worker. They were like, there's quite a lot. So
we are in mid 20. Yeah, we are in mid 2018.
Which is the same loophole that this IPPS system was supposed to plug in 2007, but it's such a surprise. It's still.
When was the last time we successfully plugged any loop in this country?
I guess we'll have to go.
Well, on that note, so we're pretty the NBA to probe Malami.
Well, what did I tell you last week about the bail order? I told you that I wasn't keeping my hopes up.
You said that.
Here we are.
You said that.
There you go. All done.
Listen to me.
Yes, they are listening. But thank you very much. We appreciate having you all on this morning. Of course, Ikemesit Effiong, you can find him up on Twitter as @judgeiyke, where you can listen to more to what he has to say. You can find Ayo Esho as @Esho1, and Tunde Okufi remains @BigCuffs up on Twitter. Last but not least, we've got a couple of messages. This one in from Ayo Esho, who said, it is extremely difficult to run any business in Nigeria. Tell the government to regulate advert prices in your radio station. Are they fueling your generators? Yeah, on that note, we're done. Good morning, Lagos. Keep listening, though, because at 8:15, we switch lanes and we talk sports inside the locker room. Good morning.
The headlines. That's absolutely correct.
The stories.
That's second story. Then
The news.
government just trying to harass the private sector.
In-depth analysis of national current affairs.
You're not
Freshly pressed,
you're not paying the
smooth.
cost.
You're not
You're not saying that
saying
you're not saying something.
I'm sorry. I was